Let us continue with our lesson and let us see that how we can configure some of the more advanced feature in Firebase Crashlytics. And what we will do now is, first of all, let's see how we can close a particular the the issue that it has generated. So it has currently generated some of the issue. If you check over here, which is on a flash or a splash activity and the main activity, and still on this splash activity, and it's on a different line, and the detail you can see in the non-fatal and the crash, right, and the version and the event. So event is how many times it got triggered, and how many users are affected with this particular issue. So what we can do is we can just open up this one and we can close it. So let's close this issue, so which means that we have fixed this issue and release a bug fix for this particular issue. Then we can close that one and we can go back to the dashboard over here. Then now you can see that this has been closed, and if you go to this one, let's close this one too. I can close this one, and here you can see some of the options like prevent the issue from reopening and all of this. But what we will do is we will go back and let us close all of the issue for now, and let's close this one too. And I hope you guys got it. So what are all of the keys and the logs and the data and the stack trace? So I hope you are comfortable with it now, and we'll just close it for now. And let us close all of our bug, and now we don't have any issue. And if you try to filter it out by only the open, then we will see that only nothing is open over here. And the filter is, you can also filter by operating like which version of OS or which version of Android is affected by particular this issue. So you can also filter it out. So currently we will filter it out by only open, and we also have a filter over here like a version, right, and the build version and the event type. What are the event types? So these are all of the filtering options that we have over here. That's really great. And what we will do now is we will send the filter for the user. So how we can send that one is, let's go back to the application, and over here we have to send. So currently we are sending both from the debug and the release tree, but actually we should only send from the release version of our application, not from the debug. For just for our testing purpose, we are sending it from the debug also. So what we will do is we can send the user over here, and if I say we have the option to set the user ID. So we have option to set the user ID as the identifier. So how we can set over here, if you go to this particular setup over here, it says that we have to pass the string for the user ID. We already have, if you go to the model and go to the app preference, we have some of the information that we can pass. You can pass like the user email or the username or the user email, that depend on you. So let's pass the username from here. So let's go over here, because the email is quite sensitive, right? So email is sensitive information, then we should not pass it to the any other third-party server or from where the information can be leaked. So we will be available to set the username. So why not we send the username? So how do we get the username is we have to get the username over here. So what we will do for that is, I think let us go to the home. Let us go to the view model, and we have already set the preference. So here is the preference, and we are getting it from here. So let's go to the application class over here, and we are on create. We are creating everything and setting up for the Timber debug as well as over here. So if we go to the debug tree, I think we should get some parameter over here, right? And in the to-do application class, we are just planting the debug tree over here, and we are not passing anything. So let's create over here and pass it over here. So for that, what we will do is let us take a parameter of what we need is the app preference. So private, sorry, not the priority. Private, we need a val of app preferences. And if we have an app preference now, and we can get the app preference dot, we can get the username. And okay, so we need to pass the parameter first. So what we have to do is we need a parameter. So let me copy this section from here and paste it over here. And I need a constant val tag of our user name or user ID, right? So user ID, and here we will set it as a user ID. And let me copy this tag and paste it over here. We have to pass a key value here. And what does it test is too many argument passed. Okay, so I think we only need a one argument. And what is the error? So okay, so it found that we need a not null. So what we will do is that let us pass it as a not null, and otherwise you can just go and check. So we can just go and check it over here. Let's check the null preference. I think that should be the better. Just copy this one, and if it is not null, then we will go and set that value over here. It, we can just say the preference, right? And let's copy this section and just paste it over here, and I'll just pass the preference over here. Or I think it should be just a user ID. Then I can pass this one over here. Okay, that's good. And now we can do the same thing. Okay, let me remove all of this, the release version. We are getting it from the release tree. And okay, so the user ID, where is the user ID? We don't need this one. Okay, that's good. And let us go to the release tree, and the release tree also let us do the same thing. So first of all, we need the app preference. Just copy and paste it over here. So we need to pass it as a constructor argument, and then we will just copy this one too and paste it over here. Okay, so we have it. And next is that we need to pass it from our application class that we have extended. So here we need to pass that particular app preference. So how do we pass that app preference is, let's go over here and we will create this one over there. Just copy this one and let's go over here and let us build it over here. And I think we will just set up the private function and setup, and over here I will set it up, and I'll just say var of the app preference, and I can just pass this over here because we have an application class, so we can just say this that gets shared preference. And since we have a shared preference now, and then we will need the app preference, so we have to create the app preference. Just copy this one and we'll go over here and we'll just say as the app preference. So val app preference, and also this one as the val. Okay, so that should be enough for us to pass as it. And now I can just cut this section and paste it over here. And here we will pass the app preference. Just pass the app preference as the constructor argument. Okay, so that's look better, right? And we have to call this from onCreate. Don't forget to call it from here. Okay, and that's look better, right? So we have a set preference, and then we pass that and create an app preference, and after the app preference we pass it to the Timber debug tree and the release tree as the constructor parameter. And let's run our application for now. And if you see, the application has successfully started. And what we will do now is we'll go back to the Firebase console over here, and you can see now it has sent some event, right? So previously it was a 4, I think. I think I crashed it 2 times, and you can see over here it's a 6. And I have removed the filter. Currently, if you click on the open only, you will not see that one, because we have previously already closed that issue, so that will be not shown over here because it's the same crash issue, right? So it was the same issue, so it is mentioning here it was closed already. So what we have to do is we have to clear the filter. So if you found it that this issue has been re-arrived, then I can reopen this particular issue. And if you go back now, and you can see that issue has been reopened, and now we can go and filter it by the open one. Just apply it. Now you can see that issue, and the main thing is that we have sent the user, so we can find the search the issue by particular user over here. And let me go over here, and I think we cannot see any user. Let me try to find it. So the username, it can be, if you go to the application, so we can go to the profile, and the username is of admin. So let us try to find it by admin over here, and we should get some information. Okay, so we have identified as the admin. So if you click this one, then we can get all of the information regarding that particular. That's great, right? So if we go back to the dashboard and go to the particular issue, and you can see the stack trace over here, and on the data you can see the user as the admin, and some information has that one, some information is not there. So if we have passed the identifier as the user, then we can get it over here. That's great about the Crashlytics over here, and you can just filter it out by the particular user. So we have a lot of options to set it over here. So I hope you guys got it, and I would like to conclude over here. And I hope you learned a lot about the how to handle the application crash, and also about the Firebase Crashlytics over here. And I will finally go and close this issue. And I can go to the dashboard, and now currently I don't have any open issue. So I hope you enjoyed this session, and we will see in our coming lecture some of the more interesting things. So stay tuned. So let us meet in our upcoming lecture. So let us meet in our coming up lecture. Till then, have a great day.